You ever feel like sometimes in life you just not hitting the mark where you want to be, or you're looking at different elements of trying to achieve something but don't know how, right? We get stuck in the how so much time that, we develop this why, we see a purpose behind it, maybe making more money, maybe having a healthier life, whatever that may be. And then it's like, well, how am I going to create that? How am I going to do that? How is going to do this, right? So I want to share with you something that helps me when it comes to writing. I'm in the process right now of writing my third book. I spent about 3 hours yesterday hammering out the first chapter, and it's been fun. I got about almost 4,000 words in, and I'm ready to fine tune that to close up that chapter and start on the next. Now, if you asked me, sometimes people ask, how did you write a book? How did you get into this? Or how do you do this? And I'm going to share something with you that you can apply in any aspect of your life. It could be at any element. So you can look at this in business. You can look at this making money. You can look at this in a relationship. You can look at this when it comes to your health. You can look at this when it comes to your mindset. Anything that you're going to do, this is kind of the same process, right? You have a vision, you have a why, you understand, but then it's the how aspect. How do I put this all together? How do I connect all this? And one of the things I did, and what I do in writing, is I don't have it all mapped out in an outline. I don't have all the titles mapped out, how many chapters. I can tell you right now, I don't know how many chapters this book's going to be. I don't know the next name to my next chapter. I don't have that figured out yet. I barely knew the first one. And my book's called Decoding the Matrix. So the first chapter was called, What is the Matrix? Simple as that. Now, what I teach and what I share is that now, when I go into this, I just trust the process and know that it's all going to work out. And I'm going to start writing and sharing and putting my effort into it. This is called the work, right? Sweat equity. You put the grind in things. You put yourself out there. That's the effort. You're going to put the energy out there. At the same time, I'm still remembering my why. So why am I writing this book? It's not about money. Right? Why is the purpose of this? The purpose is to help elevate the consciousness of human beings as much as I possibly can so they can remember the greatness of who they are. It's the main vision of my life. So when I'm looking at that, then I'm like, okay, just remember this. Keep doing this is why I write this. And I just flow. I let it go. I don't resist. I don't try to think, I didn't like what I wrote there. I didn't like this. I just write and I let things go. I'll recheck it at certain points to see how it is. Most of the time when I write a book, I just write everything out and then I have my editor look at everything and make sure it flows. But if how do you apply this to your life then? Well, you could do this in marriage. Pretty simple. You want to improve the marriage in some way? Date night every week. Right? And you want to make it an intentional date night. So you make it a little special. You get dressed up, right? It's like your first date going on again. And, you treat it with that energy. And as long as you put your energy there, you're going to see an elevation and rise in the relationship. If you don't, well, that just means that you're just checking the boxes. You're just doing it from a subconscious remote level of just constantly doing and just having to check it off rather than actually experiencing. The same thing is true in business. If you want to double your profits. Well, doubling your profits is not really that hard to do. I've done it multiple times in my career. And it's one of those things where it's understanding, okay, well, what do I have to do to show up? How are the things that I can commit to, follow, right? And then just do the work and then put my energy into it. You're going to hear me use this word often, energy. But it could come to the same thing with physical health, right? Physical health is one of the great, look at muscular or your body. This is the easiest way to grasp things because all you have to do is just show up every single day. Do the freaking work, follow up with a good nutrition, and you're just going to get there. It's that simple. It doesn't have to be some crazy diet. You can use diets, you can use biohacking, you can use other metrics and other levels of what you can have to accomplish that, but it's real simple. It's just picking something to do and then just give it your all, put your energy into it. I don't want to say give it your all or do 110. Those are common things that are just so overused. It's just put your energy into it. Be intentional with it. Be mindful, right? Be in the present moment. Be 100. When I say be mindful or be present, that just means give all your attention to where you are in the moment. And then just be there and do and write and be and have and serve. As chiropractors, you go, you serve, you take care of your patients, you be in the moment with patients. I can tell you right now, when I say it's doubling your profits and growing your business and doing those kind of things, to be truthfully honest, it's all coming down to just being present with your patients. Have a theme each and every day. Right? Have a theme to what you're going to do while you're in the office, what your team's going to follow. And so you start to have this cohesive, systematic approach to what you're doing. It's not just showing up and adjusting and leaving, and that's the end of it. It's going in there with a system. And depending on your practice, depending on how you practice, is it a wellness-based practice? Is this going to be more of a pain-based type of a practice? There's different elements on how you want to customize your systems, but you got to create that theme. So if I can share any message, and this is not just with chiropractors, it's also entrepreneurs. entrepreneurs. What's the theme that you show up every single day? What's the intention that you're setting? So I know I kind of went a little bit on different elements to this, but the key point I'm trying to share is that when you go ahead and you're going to write, like for me, when I write my book, I set the theme for the chapter and I go. And that's the main thing I'm keeping my eyes on as I'm writing and sharing and putting it out there, to know that it's going to be what it's going to need to be and how it's going to get there, right? Because at the end mind, my goal is to describe what the chapter is. And it's funny because sometimes it seems like I get off tangent with my stories, but then I'll go back and reread them. And then I'm like, that I like to put in there so I can connect with the audience, the readers and so forth. And all of a sudden I'll look back. One, I didn't plan to put the story in there. Two, what's interesting is that it sometimes I'm like, man, I don't know if that's really going to connect when I'm doing this. But then I go back and it's like the perfect story to connect to what I need. And so the point I'm trying to make is sometimes we don't have to figure out all the nits and grannies and all that stuff when it comes to wanting to create our success. Sometimes it's just going ahead and just putting yourself out there, doing the work and trusting the process. And usually that's going to get you the end result. And usually you keep the door open to allow for other great things to show up beyond what you could ever imagine. That's the key to my message today. Make it a great one.